Hello, my name is Dan Kinjorski, your host of Life on the Bench podcast. Lately I've been talking about the music of 1970, the number one song. In the last couple podcasts, we talked about that. I want to go to the number two song in just a minute, but first, I want to speak to you about what it cost in 1970 to live in 1970. A new house was $23,450 to buy a new house in 1970. And how many years away are we from that? We're 30 plus 25 is what, 55 years? That was 55 years ago. Am I correct? Yeah, I think I'm correct. Average income, however, right? The new house was 23,450. The average income was 9,400. A new car, 3,450. You can go out and buy a new car for $3,000. Minimum wage was $2.10. $2.10. A movie ticket was $1.55. And check this out. For those of you who don't realize this, but gasoline was 36 cents a gallon. A postage stamp was 6 cents. Sugar was 39 cents per 5-pound bag. Milk was 62 cents per gallon. Coffee was $1.90 per pound. Eggs were 59 cents a dozen. And bread was, let me see here. Here we go. Well, fresh baked bread was 25 cents per loaf. Per loaf. 25%. 25 cents per loaf. Loaf. A fresh ground hamburger was 62 cents per pound. So I thought that was six. Now that was in 1971. Let me make this correction here. I lost track of my thing, but we're going to move on here. Now, in saying all that, how much was a dollar worth in 1970? Can anyone take a guess? I will tell you, according to my research, a dollar in 1970 was equivalent in purchasing power to about $6.32 in 2017. $6, in other words, in 1970, if you had $100, you had the purchasing power of $632, okay? Or $600, over $600. All right. So why is that significant? Well, it's all about perspective, isn't it? Today we do a lot of complaining, but we're not earning $2 and some odd cents in minimum wage, are we? It's not much more than that either, is it? So, but just for that, I just wanted to give you some perspective on 1970. Now, I don't know about you, but in December of 1970, let me see, in December of 1970, I was 4 years old. Okay, 4 years old. So throughout 1970, I was 3 years old, but it was significant to me because from 1970 to 1980, all that music impacted my life. The music I would listen to in the car with my parents or my parental figures would impact my life because if you think about how Hollywood and how the radio and all that impacts your life, that's the music you grew up. That's how you thought sometimes. If we allowed social media, well, what today we would call social media, yesterday we would call radio and television, um, if you allowed that to impact your life. So going on from there, the number two single in 1970, according to the Billboard year-end Hot 100 singles chart, was "They Long to Be Close to You" by the Carpenters. Now, in my research I've done about the Carpenters, I like listening to some of their music. Um, they were a sibling, a brother and sister duo, singing duo band. Karen Carpenter, who played vocals and drums, and then Richard Carpenter, who played the keyboard and arrangements. They rose to fame in the 1970s with their signature soft rock pop sound. Okay, the music style. They were known for melody songs, clean harmonies, and beautiful arrangements. And Karen Carpenter had a deep, emotive contralto voice, okay, and which became their defining sound. And their music has been described as both timeless and soothing, yet sometimes dismissed during their era, their time, as too clean cut for the rock-dominated mainstream. Personally, I like listening to it myself. Their biggest hits were "They Long to Be Close to You," um, or "Close to You" in 1970, their first major hit. Other hits were "We've Only Just Begun," "Rainy Days and Mondays," "Top of the World," "Superstar," and "Yesterday Once More," all enduring classics. Their commercial success is that they were able to sell 90 million records worldwide. They won 3 Grammy Awards and received numerous nominations. They dominated the Billboard charts throughout the 1970s. And when it comes to success and popularity and that much pressure, they had some personal struggles. Karen Carpenter battled anorexia nervosa, a condition that was poorly understood at the time. In other words, she would suffer. I believe that's the same kind of diagnosis that you wanted to. You were nervous about becoming too heavy, okay, or too fat. And so tragically, she died in 1983 at age 32 from complications related to the illness, bringing major public attention to eating disorders. Um, and their impact in the culture, they helped define soft rock or soft pop sound of the 1970s. Their music continues to be celebrated, sampled, and reissued, and they inspired countless vocalists and groups across genres. So next week we'll talk more about the Carpenters, and we'll talk specifically about their number 2 song in 1970, "Long to Be Close to You," which is very significant. So I'll analyze the song and see how it can impact, how it has impacted the listeners, and how it can impact you and me today. Thank you for being with me at Life on the Bench.